Hello everyone. Today is the 26th September 2011. Today I'm gonna practice the English reading. Okay, let's start. UK education system, a culture of excuse. Teacher Mark Colvin reported this story on Monday, September 19, 2011. In Britain, last year a teacher rectified the Conservative Party conference with a speech that condemned the UK education system. Kathleen Beversing said the system was broken because it kept poor children poor. She talked about a culture of excuse, low standards, and expecting the very least from the poorest and most disadvantaged. Hers was one of the several influences that led Britain's coalition government to change the system to allow teachers, parents, and community members to set up what are to be called free schools, paid for and run by the state. As an alternative to the country's dominant comprehensive school system, Catherine Beversing is currently involved in trying to set up one of these new free schools, the Michaela Schools in South London. She's visiting Sydney and she told me that this year's riots threw up a lot of behavior and attitudes that teachers would have recognized from the classroom. A number of children who were interviewed afterwards about why they decided to riot. Some of them would say things like, well, we wanted to show the police who was boss, and we wanted to show them that we were in charge, and so on. And that can happen in our schools, where they want to show the teachers that they are in charge, and there are some children who literally rule the classroom. And so that was just multiplied many times out on the street. But in our schools, that's the kinds of things that we see often in our inner city schools, but not just inner city, you know. I've heard from many teachers from across Britain since I've been out in the press and so on, and they write to me anonymously because they don't want to say who they are, because they'll get in trouble for saying so from across Britain, from small towns, places that you wouldn't really think would have those kinds of issues, and then they do have them. So what's causing that? Is it about the parents as much as the school? Yes, I do believe parents are of course responsible, and not just parents, the general culture that we have nowadays that comes from MTV, rap songs and gangster lifestyles and so on. Parents who are perhaps working too hard or never around and aren't able to support their children properly. But of course, people often say to me, well, why is this you are only ever criticizing the school system? The reasons why I talk about sorting out the school system is that that's something that we can do. I can't sort out the parents. Neither can I stop MTV from being broadcast across the TVs. But if it's about parents who don't care, presumably they won't send their children to their new free schools. and that will leave the public schools even more filled with children whose parents don't give a damn. Well, why wouldn't they send them to free schools? They send them to schools somewhere, and the free schools are not able to select. Just like all the other schools, they have to follow the same admission code as all the other public schools. So there's no reasons why a free school. So you won't be draining the public school system of talent. No, well, they can't even if they wanted to. And I have to say that, like me, there are quite a number of teachers who are determined to set up the free school to make a difference for children and inner city children and so on.